Hi there, welcome to The Explainer. I'm Matt, she's Terry, Joe. First off today, we're gonna talk about the jail tax town hall coming up at the headquarters of the Board of Supervisors on Melody Lane, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Terry, Joe, tell us what's gonna be going on there.
Sure, so at this point, the three members of the Board of Supervisors want to have voters decide on whether or not to reapprove the sales tax to help build a new jail. But they also want to make sure that those voters know where that new jail is going to be located. That was kind of just thrown in at the last minute here. They've announced that the election is going to happen in November. Now all of a sudden they're rushing to decide where they're going to put the new jail, so voters will know that first.
So the supervisors agreed that they wanted all three of them voted to include the location on the ballot?
They all want to have that on the ballot so that voters really do know where they're going to be spending this $120 million.
Seems to me like this is kind of a dangerous proposition because you're already asking people to take on a tax which is never going to get a whole lot over 50%, and now you're putting locations. No matter what you choose, you're going to alienate somebody. So some people might be for a new jail, but if it's not where they want it, they'll vote against. Is that
correct? And so that is one issue. The other is that you may have voters who simply are not going to participate in the election without knowing, because they don't want some fluke chance that the jail is going to be put in some outrageous location. So it's going to be very interesting. As you said, they meet tomorrow, Thursday, at the Board of Supervisors building down on Melody Lane in Bisbee. It's going to be a lot of folks coming in and giving their opinions on where they think it should be, 3 minutes per person. Afterwards, the Board of Supervisors could, if they want, go ahead late Thursday night and vote on that location.
So we could have that ready to be put on the ballot. When would be the drop dead, just practical logistical deadline to have it put on the ballot?
They need to have that information by the end of July so that the ballots can be prepped. They have to be reviewed. And then remember, even though the election's not until early November, ballots actually start going out to our voters that are overseas several weeks earlier. So they really, they don't have a lot of time there, Matt.
And freshman supervisor Kathleen Gomez has been out, as she is wont to do, ringing the alarm bell about that if Bisbee doesn't keep the jail, the new jail, they could lose the county seat. A, is that founded in anything? And B, do you think that'll help the Bisbee chances?
I think it does, actually, the more awareness there is here. One of the factors with the location is that 4 years ago, when this all started being talked about at first, there were some plans that maybe we'll build a new Superior Courthouse. So you'd have the new jail right next to the new courthouse. The current Board of Supervisors have nixed that. We don't have the money in Cochise County. We're talking 100 to 120 million just for the jail, let alone any new court facilities. And so, like Kathleen Gomez has said, we need to keep it in Bisbee because we need to keep the jail close to where the main courthouses are.
And Frank Antonori wants it in off Mosen Road, right? Kind of between
he's come up with a location that is technically Tombstone. The problem there, even though it's centrally located, is there's no infrastructure there. And again, the sheriff's office would be responsible for driving dozens of people every day back and forth to the courthouse. It just doesn't really make sense unless you're going to put the courthouse there as well.
And then where does Tom Crosby want it?
Tom Crosby has been kind of interesting on this. He understands that it really isn't going to be in Sierra Vista, which is the majority of his location. He really does seem to kind of agree with Kathleen that we have to take into consideration economics with the location. So it's not just where is the best site for law enforcement, economically, where is the best site? And that's where he seems to be going.
Okay, so Thursday, 5:30 p.m., Melody Lane. We expect dozens of people there to put them.
I would say probably hundreds.
Hundreds of people.
And also probably a lot of local government officials. So if they have not already weighed in writing, I would expect some of them to show up and actually speak tomorrow during the call to the public.
And you're thinking this could take at least 3 hours, and they may vote and decide what goes on the ballot.
Right, it is on the agenda so that if the supervisors wish to, they could go ahead and do their vote after the call to the public.
Okay, sounds good. Well, it's going to be an exciting, it's a barn burner of a night out on Melody Lane as the supervisors discuss what location is going to be on the ballot to vote for a new jail. You've been watching The Explainer with Terry Jo Neff. I'm Matt Hickman. Have a great day.